Good afternoon, all you Glacier National Park lovers out there. Today is Friday, June the 8th, 2018, and we are coming at you with the third Rivers, Roads, and Trails report of the season. There is a lot of new intel out there, especially on the trails. The Park Service has been out and about and is updating their website. So if you would like to get the very detailed version of the Trails report in particular, please shoot me an email to Courtney@glacierguides.com and I will add you to the list. This email goes out every Friday and has a little bit more detail than the video report does. But moving on to our rivers, today is absolutely gorgeous in West Glacier. We've had people out on the scenic section and the whitewater today having an awful lot of fun. We do think that we've probably seen the highest of the high water at this point in the year, although you never know what Mother Nature might do, and we do have some rain in the forecast for the weekend. But at any rate, the river has dropped. The classic whitewater section of the Middle Fork is running at a solid stage 3 now, which really makes for the most fun time of the year. So if you're wondering what's the best thing to do in Glacier National Park in early June, the answer this year is definitely whitewater rafting. To look at a few stats on the river, the Middle Fork's running about 10,000 CFS today, or 5.5 feet. Median flows are typically 10,500 this time of the year. The North Fork is really cleaning out, or clearing up I should say. It's running at 8,310 or 6.7 feet today. And we are hearing that it is starting to get fishable. We're taking fishing reservations and our guides can't wait to hit the waters with you, so give us a ring if you want to set those up for any time from now through the end of the summer. That'll be fun. The roads, the plows are at Logan Pass, so we are all celebrating, and this means for all you happy bikers out there that the biking time of year is coming to an end. So be sure to get out there after work every day this week and ride your bikes up to Logan Pass. We will be doing guided trips on the going to the Sun Road on bicycles until the road opens to vehicle traffic. And let's not get too excited, although we are, of course, that the plows are at the pass. They still have to get through the big drift, which even in a typical year has about 80 feet of snow on it. And even after they get through the big drift, the Park Service will be very busy putting in guardrails, getting pit toilets serviced, getting the visitor center open, and all the things that have to happen before the road is open to vehicle traffic. Still, it's a very exciting time of year, and the Park Service has some awesome pictures up on their Flickr site, so I encourage you to check those out. In other road news, pretty much all the roads in the park are open except for the typical closure at the inside North Fork Road, which is a lot of fun for mountain biking, as we talked about last week. The Cut Bank Road is still closed due to weather, but I'm sure that'll be opening up here pretty soon. It did say on the park's website that the Cut Bank Campground is in primitive status, so maybe the road is open. I'm not really sure what's going on there yet. Definitely call the Park Service before you head down the Cut Bank Road if you're planning on doing something in that drainage this weekend to clear up that discrepancy there. Other things, a friendly reminder from the Park Service and from us that dogs are not allowed on the roads past the vehicle closures, and they're also not permitted on any trail in Glacier National Park unless you have a special permit issued by a park ranger here in Glacier. So do remember that as beautiful as the trails are, they are not dog friendly in this national park. So, speaking of those trails, of course, now that the plows are at the pass, we're all starting to think about our favorite hikes. And also a friendly reminder that some of those favorite hikes, even in a low snow year, really don't open until mid-July. So just doing a little expectation management. The Park Service is estimating on its website that Ptarmigan Tunnel, for example, will open on July 13th this year, and the Hole in the Wall will open on July 17th. So we're going to be doing some lower elevation hiking up until then. Let's move over to the Belly River country and do a brief look there. We just did our first backpacking trip there this week. Absolutely beautiful. The Belly is so remote and peaceful, and the hand cable has been installed at the foot of Causley. And so remember, if you're crossing between those lakes, that the lowest point to cross is at that hand cable. Moving down to Mini Glacier, lots of things have opened up in the Mini Glacier area. There's reports that Cracker Lake, the trail, is pretty good until about the last mile before the lake, and then there's some patchy snow and some swiftwater crossings that are fairly shallow at each end of the Canyon Creek Bridge. People are heading up the first couple miles of the Grinnell Glacier Trail, although that trail typically does not open all the way to the glacier until early July. Iceberg Lake, there's lots of trees down and plenty of snow, but it does seem like lots of people are making it there wearing soft-soled shoes without any problem. Do be careful if you are not experienced in snow travel, and be wary for those snow bridges. Ptarmigan Tunnel, there's some trees down, there's some snow cover. The Park Service is definitely recommending route finding skills if you're attempting Ptarmigan Tunnel. And Poya Lake, sort of the same thing. There's patchy snow near the lake, and a few trees are down. In St. Mary, all the trails leading to St. Mary Falls are still posted for bears, so definitely keep an eye out and your bear spray clipped appropriately to your shoulder or your hip where it's within hand distance. You definitely don't want to be searching in your pack for your bear spray if you should need it. If you do need some fresh bear spray this season, do come and see us. We've got it for sale here in the office. Also in St. Mary, the Otokomi Lake Trail, the Park Service is reporting that the trail is passable all the way to the lake, although there is snow in the last mile, and the lake itself is still ice covered. Red Eagle Lake, the 1 and 2 suspension bridges have been installed. This is fairly early on in the trail. The Red Eagle Gorge and Upper Red Eagle suspension bridges are not yet in, but the Park Service is estimating June 15th, so that's next week. So that's something to be excited about. Sayee Pass from Preston Park onwards, the trail is about 95% snow covered and route finding skills are required. So thinking about Two Medicine and Cut Bank areas, which are also areas of the park that tend to be more accessible in the early season. Scenic Point, of course, is open and beautiful. Old Man Lake, there is a snow hazard about a mile past the Dry Fork Junction that apparently is giving people a little bit of trouble. And the creek has a snow bridge over it, so that's super dangerous. You want to be on the lookout for that. No Name Lake, there's a couple of sloping snowfields existing near the head of the lake. Otherwise, the trail is mostly clear. This is a great time of the year to really enjoy your waterproof hiking boots and walk right through all those muddy trails and practice your good leave no trace ethics in the Two Medicine Valley and everywhere else. But it's very wet there as the snow has really just begun to recede. On the Highway 2 corridor, Firebrand Pass, the Park Service is reporting that the trail is clear to the Autumn Creek Junction. After that, it's about 40% snow cover from the junction to the pass. There's a very steep 35-degree snowfield just before the pass, so you'll need self-arrest equipment if you're heading up that way. Here in the Lake McDonald area of the park, Sperry Chalet, the area around it, remains closed due to construction. The Park Service did announce this week that the Department of the Interior has appropriated $12 million in funding to begin that Sperry rebuild, so we'll be keeping you posted on that this summer as it gets going. The Johns Lake Trail to Avalanche is still closed for bears, and the Mount Brown Fire Lookout Trail is hikeable. You can check out the print version of the Rivers, Roads, and Trails report in your email boxes later today and see some stunning photos of Mount Brown from our friend Jillian, who went up there last week. Up in the North Fork, there are still a lot of trees down, just as we reported last week, and I don't think too much progress has been made, so you're probably going to keep your recreating in the North Fork to a boat. It's already pretty busy in the North Fork. We all love Bowman Lake for a reason, and the road to Bowman Lake was closed briefly yesterday for a few hours as all the parking spots were taken. So you definitely want to check the Park Service's Twitter feed before you head up the North Fork and keep an eye on those road conditions and closures. Backpacking campgrounds are starting to open up, and there's a link in this email that I keep referring to. If you want to check out what's open, do remember that although half of the park's backcountry permits do go out through the advanced reservation system in the spring, but the other half are available on a walk-in basis, and this is a great time of the year to try to snag one. The campgrounds are mostly all open. Cut Bank, as I mentioned earlier, is being listed as primitive status. Ports, logging, and avalanche campgrounds are all still closed. And the campgrounds are also getting busier. The park is perhaps busier than we've ever seen it this early in the year. Yesterday, the Fish Creek campground filled at 8:25 a.m., so that's something to keep in mind as you make your weekend plans. I'm happy to report that the fire danger rating right now is low. Let's hope it stays that way. We do have some moisture in the forecast, which is my favorite part of the Rivers, Roads, and Trails report to give. So we'll close with that. Here in West Glacier, we are having a gorgeous day, obviously. We are expecting some showers moving in tomorrow night and showers on Sunday throughout the day on Monday and then tapering off. We're going to see some lows in the 40s and 50s and down to 34 actually on Monday night. So a good time to break out your favorite fleece and stay cozy around the campfire if you're out this weekend. Definitely a good chance to check out all your waterproof gear and see how waterproof it really is. And then over in St. Mary, it looks like it's going to be fairly similar forecast with some rain, but again, cooler always over there than here almost always. So anyways, if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at the office. We'd love to talk to you about the park or set you up with a whitewater rafting adventure. Our number is 406-387-5555, or you can always email us. And again, if you'd like to be on that written trail report, it's Courtney@glacierguides.com. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we hope we'll see you again next Friday for Rivers, Roads, and Trails.
Courtney's awesome.
Man, he's awesome.
Is she good at this or what?